What is going on, guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Collapse. Let's take a look on why he has the highest win rate on Axe and one of the few competitive players who are playing Axe in the current meta. Axe isn't really bad in the meta currently, but it's not something that you want to pick every game or people have been playing successfully. I've seen a few people try it and it's definitely looking pretty good, but you definitely have to be an Axe player to get the most value. And Collapse is one of these players who has a very short hero pool, but the heroes that he does play, he pushes this hero to its absolute limits, and I'm quite impressed by the way he plays this hero. Most of the time when he feels like it's a good Axe game, he single-handedly carries the game on his own and makes so much space on this hero. But one of the most important things that I notice on Collapse's gameplays when it comes to Axe, he really likes to hit his timings on point. It doesn't really matter what is happening on the map, whether his team is winning or losing, it doesn't really seem to matter. He will not rotate and will not help his team until he hits that item timing, because he knows how important that can be. Normally his item build, he starts off with a quelling blade, couple of branches, sometimes with a fairy fire, the ring of protection, but also starts off with a blood grenade. I feel like he did that because he's up against a Medusa, so once you burn her mana pool, you can easily kill her with the blood grenade after a couple of hits and maybe a couple of lucky spin procs, and you can do it from a relatively safe range, and it's definitely an overall pretty decent pickup, and it's pretty good stats in general. Collapse is also one of these pro players that knows just how to win lanes. Now, Lifestealer lane is typically very difficult for Axe to deal with because Lifestealer is a counter to Axe, but if played the right way, you can dodge the matchup and still get a lot of farm out of it, because the Medusa Snake is annoying and it is pretty decent harassment as it is magic damage, and Axe doesn't really deal with that too well. He can still deal with the lane, especially with all the lane pulling shenanigans that TSpirit was doing in this game, which really does help the Axe come online a lot faster. He was stacking for himself, his team was also stacking for him. That's one of the things you need to do if you're playing an Axe and you really want to get your timings real quick. You need to be able to either stack for yourself or get your team to stack for you. That way you can really hit your power timings and get online as quickly as possible. Usually being online on this hero means you have a blink dagger and a blade mail, and usually brown boots, but it's not really required. This game I did notice that he finished off the phase boots completely and he ended up going for a winless as well, which I found really interesting. I believe it's because of the slows from the Lifestealer and just overall mobility, as Axe isn't the fastest hero out there with just brown boots, obviously. So he definitely values a lot of speed when against this lineup, and being able to chase the Medusa down or being able to catch the puck when the blink is off cooldown. It's definitely a very good pickup, and with the amount of stacking that they were doing for him, he was able to pick up these items and still stay within his item timings, which is also very important. Obviously, if you're getting stomped, you definitely don't want to buy these items. I feel like you buy these items only if your lane is going really well, which it did go for him. He managed to play the lane extremely well and managed to get away with a lot of things that he shouldn't have been able to get rid of. They should have been pressuring his stacks a lot harder, but they did it, so he got really big really quickly. His skill build, typically on pretty much every Axe game, you're going to be going for the 1-1-4 build. So max counter helix, 1 point into call, 1 point into battle hunger. Usually scale battle hunger on level 1 just for that extra slow and harassment. Impossible level 1 first blood. It's kind of difficult to get. You need the right supports to be able to do that, but it's a pretty decent harass tool, and counter helix level 1 is not really going to help you too much. Once Collapse hits his item timings, he starts to create space like no other offlaner in the game. He starts making space, rotating constantly with his other supports and his mid laner while Yotaro is farming. That is one of the things this team does very well. They give Collapse the space he needs to get his item timings, but once Collapse is online, the rest of the team is also online, probably except for Yotaro, because he's going to be in the carry position, so he's probably going to be free farming, and that's exactly what you want from your carry player. He is one of the greedier offlanes, especially with Axe. It's kind of a greedy offlane because it does need items to be able to do well. If he's your only source of initiation, he needs that blink dagger, he needs that blade mail, he needs these items to be able to perform on what the hero does best, which is initiation and lockdown. And for a lineup that really needs it very badly, because Pango isn't really enough for initiation, it is really good. Obviously Pango's an initiator, but having the Axe to be able to catch the puck or the Enigma, or to be able to catch anybody off guard besides the Pango and let the Pango go loose, there's a lot of things you could do, and it becomes very difficult to fight into this lineup with the amount of team fight they have. And the way Collapse plays the fights, when he goes in and out, resets, waits for his blink dagger, even when he's 100, 200 HP, he knows exactly how to push this hero to its absolute limits, and it's honestly quite impressive. You guys ever want to learn how to play Axe the right way, I definitely feel like watching Collapse's gameplay is by far the best way to learn how to play Axe, because he's just an overall master, and I'm always very impressed to watch this guy play Axe, and it doesn't surprise me why he has the highest win rate on Axe on Dota buff, because he's just an absolute animal. The calls that he gets pretty much consistently every time are super clutch for his team, and he won TI with Axe. He played one of the games with Axe against PSG LGD, so you know this guy is no joke on this hero. He values it very highly, so whenever they give it to him, he's definitely very happy. Definitely let me know what you guys think about the Collapse Axe. I think it's one of his best heroes by far. It's definitely a top performing hero in my opinion in his hands if played correctly. Let me know how you feel about Axe in the meta. I definitely feel like it can be quite good. It does very well against the Medusa early on. Late game it doesn't really do too much, but it still does quite decently against her just for the lockdown, and it's overall pretty solid offlaner. It doesn't have too many bad counter matchups. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I like it, much appreciated. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.